In this video, we'll learn about Google Hangouts on Air. It's actually moved to YouTube under YouTube Live. Just a quick rundown of the difference between a Google Hangout and a Google Hangout on Air. A Google Hangout, it's in the moment, and things are not archived to YouTube, so you can't watch them again later. A Google Hangout on Air, it can be scheduled, and your video, once you're finished, is archived to YouTube, so you can watch it later. You also can have an audience there to watch. So let's figure out how this gets started. So the first thing you need to do is go to YouTube and then go to My Channel. If you don't have a channel yet, you'll need to create a channel, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just follow the steps on the screen. And up at the top here, you've got a button called Video Manager. Once that loads, off to the left, you have a new section called Creator Studio. We're going to go to the Live Streaming tab and click that. In the Live Streaming tab, you have two options: Stream Now, which is kind of like Facebook Live or Periscope, things like that. We're not going to do that. We're going to go to the one called Events. So here's where we're going to schedule an event, which could be scheduled for something later. So off to the right, we've got a new live event. So I'll click that button. On the next page is where you'll start to put your details. So go ahead and give it a title. So we'll call this one a test. We'll hang out on air. Choose when it's going to take place. So I'll just say today, and I'll just pick a random time. So we'll say at 5 p.m. So the reason why you put a time in is, so let's say you do have an audience. Let's say it's going to be a set of parents, and they're going to be watching something, maybe a spelling activity that you guys have going on, or whatever it may be in your class. You would want to give a specific time for them to know at at noon this is going to start. So you can start it then, but it really doesn't matter on the teacher end. So let's say I'm doing something with another teacher and we're just scheduling an event together, and it was supposed to start at noon, but really we want to start at 11 now. You can do that as well. So from there, you'll go off to the right and choose public, unlisted, or private. Public means obviously I can find it on YouTube. Unlisted means that unless I give you the link, you can't find it. And private obviously means it's just for myself. So I'll go ahead and make it unlisted. And then you have a type underneath that, quick or custom. We're going to leave it as quick. And then we're going to hit create event. And this is kind of your pending event page. So this is where you're actually going to come and actually start your Hangout. So if it's at a later date, you'll kind of follow those steps. You'll go to YouTube, you'll go to your channel, and you'll come to this live streaming tab, and you'll come into the events. And every event that you have scheduled will be here, and you can start it whenever you're ready. So this next step, I actually have Jessica Zepic standing by to start the Hangout. So we'll do that part next. So I'll go ahead and hit Start Hangout on Air, which is then going to bring up the application of Google Hangouts. Once it loads, we'll have the option to include Jessica in the Hangout. So just give it a second. Now, the computer that I'm working on does not have a webcam, so you're just going to see my picture there. But normally it would be a live view of myself. Down at the bottom, you can see we got a percentage loading, so it's kind of loading the application for me, so I just need to wait a second. So now I have a button that says Start Broadcast, which means when I hit that button, I will be live. But I'm going to go up to the person with a plus, and this is where I can add Jessica to this video. So I'll go ahead and type her email address, name, and I'll hit invite.
So before Jess connects, I'd like to show you actually where you send the link to, like, maybe your parents. You want them to view something. So back on our events page, you can see that I already have my pending event here. If I just right click on that and open a new tab, or you can just open it. I've already opened it in a new tab here. You can see this is what your parents or viewers will see, that the actual stream is not started yet. But this is the link that you need to share them, just a regular YouTube link. And then once you start your stream, this YouTube page will be live. It's like you're watching TV. All right, so Jessica's joined us. Hello. So it looks like it's working. So she has now joined us, and you can see at the bottom, I have not started my broadcast yet. But I also have the option to see how many viewers I have, which if I move this out of the way, maybe you can see. It says I have 0 viewers. So Jess, if you want to go ahead and say what happened on your end when I sent the invite.
Sure. So I knew that Ryan was going to call me, so I went ahead and had the Hangout app up. And when I got the pop-up that he was calling, I went ahead and answered it as usual. The only thing different between the Hangouts and Hangouts is I also had to accept a disclaimer, just stating that I understood that this was Hangouts on air, which meant that it could be recorded and watched later. And once I accepted that, then I was able to go ahead and join the call, which here I am.
Okay, so the last step on my end is just to go ahead and hit start broadcast. And when I do that, that means that anybody with the link that I gave will now watch the conversation that Jess and I are having in this room. So I'll go ahead and hit start to show you what that looks like. I'm going to ask you, or it's going to give you a warning that you're about to start. And at the bottom, and here in a couple seconds, hopefully, you'll see, there you go, that we are officially live. So again, whoever has that link would actually be viewing this broadcast. So that is how you start a Google Hangout on air, but doing it through YouTube Live.